What's up, y'all? Today I'm going to do a tutorial on a topic that I've probably had requested more than any other topic, and that is how to make Dariacore bass sounds. One of the reasons that I've put this tutorial off for as long as I have is I come from producing dubstep, and Dariacore, since it's a mashup or hyperflip genre, it's basically just tons of different bass music, bass sounds, but they're not quite the genres that they come from, right? I've heard like electro growls, like super heavy complextro, like blown out respaces. I've heard some bro steppy stuff occasionally, future rhythmy sounding stuff, just plain rhythm sounding stuff. There's even like wook bass occasionally. So I didn't want to just do a tutorial where I was like, here's how you make, Dariacore bass, and it's just a bro step growl. So one of the things that I will say is most of the time with Dariacore sounds, they end up sounding like a weirder or like kind of evolved version of dubstep sounds to me. Originally, I kind of just thought they sounded like hacky dubstep, but now I kind of feel like it is just like a little bit more risky than dubstep or traditional bass music sounds. So today I'm going to do a tutorial on Vocodex and how you can resample basses into more interesting things like this and this and this and kind of like a tear out sound, which is the first one I do, but this is what it ended up with. So a bunch of different basses you can get from doing this Vocodex trick. So with that being said, let me go ahead and jump right into it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a dubstep bass one shot and I'm going to route it into a channel and name that carrier. The next thing I'll do here is go into my Foley library and just pick any piece of Foley out, just unprocessed sound. You can do processed too, but for this, we'll just go with an unprocessed one because that's kind of the simplest or the least labor intensive. So I'm going to send that into another channel, name that modulator, and route it into my carrier. So my modulator is routed from, instead of into the master, it goes into my carrier here. Then I'll load a Vocodex onto my carrier, so into the dubstep sound. So as you can see, there's no sound passing through this. And you want to go in here, and it should kind of auto set to do this, but you want to go in and over mod. This is your modulator selector input. That's just your growl with the growl self-modulating. So you want to set this to your modulator. And at this point, your carrier, your carrier is the top one. Your modulator now is acting as the modulator as well as the carrier. As you can see, it is doing both of these little things here. If you want it to just act as the modulator and not as the carrier and the modulator, if you turn this down right here, it'll then just be modulating your sound source. So then you have a little high pass here that can let in the amount of high frequencies that you want or cut the low end off. And then when we turn our sound back on, this lets the volume of your sound in. Right, so that's the amount. You can kind of set a low pass here. And for some reason, it is not seeming to do anything. My low pass isn't working. Why is that? Oh, it is. Yeah, so that kind of sets how much we want to let our basically how much our modulator affecting the carrier is being put through. So once we turn this up, our modulator is now like having high frequency information. I know it's confusing. Just know that like this is your low pass for your carrier sound. This is your high pass for your modulator sound. And having these set somewhere around here is useful. So the next thing I'm going to do here is you can introduce noise. And so that's adding noise. The first thing I'm noticing here is I want to do a high pass in on the modulator. And I might go in and change the pitch of this. That's much cooler already. So I've noticed pitching down Foley tends to work pretty well. And that's getting growly. I don't know if it's... I don't know if I like it that growly. Let's kind of like introduce some distortion to get it really weird here. That's a little better. Now I can go in here and actually make a separate piece of Foley as like another layer. I'll get a non-metallic hit on this one. And that's much heavier than what I'm aiming for. So let's see what we can do here to make it a little less heavy. Maybe not that. Let's try this. Turn this down. Turn this pitch-wise down. Yeah, I just don't love that sound that much. And so the thing that I'm going to say here is I think the input, the carrier sound, is what's making it so heavy. So we'll just make a quick sound out of this one, and then I'll show you how you can take this trick, like the setup, and make a bunch of different sounds out of it. So let me put an OTT on the modulator. That's already wiping a good amount of that tail out. And let's try adding a delay. Sometimes works good. Wow, that could be a really good tear out sound. Let's make it kind of shimmer with a pitch shifter that's pitched up. Okay, that's kind of filling out the spectrum in a nice way. Now, one of the cool things here, so you can turn your vocodex thing down. We haven't messed with any of this stuff. I didn't say this so far, but just to know, the carrier is this one. This is what our modulator is doing, is messing with this section right here. And you kind of have to loop it to be able to like edit it. But I think what I'm going to do is actually not mess with this. Whoa, I don't want so many points. No, go flat, go flat. All right, and I'll get rid of this and just manually delete these. Okay. So I think the thing that helps more than editing that in the beginning is adding post effects. And let me slide this back a little bit. So instead of sliding it back, I'm just going to move this forward. And kind of do some EQing here. And let's get some distortion on it. I'll use a wave shaper here. Now remember the thing that I always say, which is go fast. And just kind of get yourself set up with a cool thing that you can edit a bunch later. So let me, the delay is going to make this sound samey. What if we pan it and do a left-right delay? I don't really prefer that. That's much better. Okay, so now let's go in here and I'm going to go ahead and render a version of just this. So this was meant to be a Dariacore tutorial, but we'll see if we can squeeze some Dariacore out of this. And what other effects can I get to make this a little weirder? One thing that I know I can do right off the rip is add a multi-band to the high end. No, we'll do it with a Pro Q3 instead. Basically do a high band that squishes the sides. They go from really loud to quieter. So it's going to give it a high side transient. Let's go way further down. And then this is just missing like some mid grunge. So let me go in here and do a multi-pass. Select the mid band here. Put a chorus and a distortion on it and turn the chorus. down just a little bit. And then what's the harm of maybe try that on the high end. And I don't want to do too much here, so we'll just add a disperser to the mix here. And a resonator just to see, what is this pitched to? C? Add a bit crusher. And compress it together a little bit more. Oh, you know what it's missing? It's just missing reverb. I was going to say there's something that it's missing. It needs a little bit of reverb. So I'm going to go in here, get a convolution source. This should work. It's a little bit to the left, so I'm going to go in here and pan it. I'm sorry, to the right. That sounds like it's going to be good. And let's put another, we'll soft clip it this time. Oh, what would be the best way to finish this one? I'll just go with the classic V clip. And I know this would help a lot if we had like a filter sweep in here. So we get a high band that goes, yeah, downwards. And since we're not starting on the 0 point, we can kind of just have this loop. May even be better to have a low pass that does that. Not a high shelf. And there we go, high cut. But it needs to be a little slower. And then I just wish this was a little shorter. Maybe change this back to a bell. Oh, that's going up now. I don't want it to go up. Let me just kind of have it sweep up and back down really quickly. Okay, because this is supposed to be a Dariacore based tutorial, what I'm going to do is render this. So pop it into an ed, a sono, just hit play. And I have a really chunky tear out bass. Now let's try and turn this into Dariacore really quickly. Okay, so this is what I think the reason that it's not ending up Dariacore is. Let's put that on it instead. So that's in D now. Before I do this, I want to go ahead and name this C. Change all of our layers here. And I can tell it's just way too sub heavy. What is giving it all that sub weight? It's probably the second OTT. Which, let me just kind of go through here and mute all these. Not that. So it's a little bit too much compression. I think I can take both of the OTTs off. Let's see if we get rid of the delay. I like that though. And then change this filter sweep that we have here to a band pass. I'm going to go in here and do two separate sounds. So we'll get a D sound and another D sound. Oh, why am I need to get bass sounds. See if that does it. That kind of is not working for me. Maybe it's this is turned too high. I'm going to pitch this down to D, so F 1, 2, 3 down to D. And I need to let less of that in. And my filter here is what's making that messed up, so I'll get rid of that. I'm gonna have to mute that band and just let it ride. Let's try making it a band reject filter. Change the curve a little bit, so we'll go down to up. And then we could probably go with some more OTTing now. Turn this down. Oh, I have so much noise. Okay, so now let's get these bands a little longer. So this is now I'm actually finally messing with what my modulator is doing. And I have to play it and mess with it then because there's no little button to click here. Can't. And there's too much convolver. Pitch shifter's probably not helping. Delay's probably not helping. And I'm just going to increase my modulator and decrease probably the input on these. So it's kind of like... I may get some good results from like resampling these together, so... So we'll go like this. Add another little sample into the end of here. And you can barely hear it. You hear a ton of noise going on there. Now you can change the pitch of your input. Let me just hear what my input sounds like without any... I love this. This is going to be really cool if I can get it to work. Drive it. A little less. I just want to get a tiny little bit less of like a reverby sound. Well, that's definitely super reverby. All right, let's hear if that works in any way, shape, or form. Let me turn this down. Now, one of the cool things you can do too is just completely turn your mod to be both. And I think I'm gonna do 2 sounds here. Multi-band compression would help glue this together. And I think the notch is not helping. Maybe a band. And let's do 1, 2, 3 hits. Bop, bop, bop. 1. Delete these and have her just go 1, 2, 3. Now this is a really messy one, but I think I'm getting close to just saying. Let's get weird with the multipass. Oh, the formant filter. I forgot about all this. Let's go in here and do some frequency shifting. Okay, so that sounds pretty much cool no matter what it's doing. So we're gonna go in here and get a I'll do a random. Where are we at? Random. Go like that. I'm gonna leave it, turn the jitter up quite a little bit, and then slow it down. We might do it synced, do dotted sync. Then I'm gonna smooth it, but not the most amount, just a little bit, and then turn the chaos down. Let's see if that is doing something cool or not. And I'm gonna leave it right in the middle. See if we put another one here and change the randomization. So we have 2 different randomizers. We'll get rid of this one on here. And wow, I think that's going to be cool. And now I'm just going to go through my effects again and see which ones are hurting it. That one feels pretty the OTT feels crucial. See if I can find a different impulse that I like better. I'll go into my drum parts and hit a clap on here. Oh, it's not on. Really small clap. And I think what I'm going to do here is enable the lowest band, move this up a little bit, and then either do this band and this band or this one and this one. That might be it with a high pass filter to stop that. I might do another high pass filter up here just to make sure it's not getting super. Yeah. I might even do a low pass on the top of this. Yeah. And then I would compress it in there, but it'll be easier to not do that. Let me send my multi-pass above my compression. Okay, so turn this down. All right, it's weird. That'll work for something. This will probably be more textural bass that I can't really pitch. Oh, wait, let me try one thing first. Let me see if this helps. No, it did not help. All right, So I can render this. So it's just textural bass. Make it a little more hold time on here and get rid of the weird multipass just by quieting them for now. And I'd like for my V clips to be separated a little bit, so we'll put one right there. Turn my metal tank into something else. A little too much noise coming through again. It's probably because of the low pat, or it's probably because the OTT on there. You get into a different folder with some interestinger stuff or some different sounding stuff. That's going to be probably too low MIDI. That's probably it. It's super loud though. So it's kind of samizing all of it. Let me see if it still works with the... I'm just not loving the second sample in there, so I'll render one copy of this first. Delete everything really quick. And just, yeah, I'll just render it because I want to move forward. And these are both in D. D-ish, and this one's definitely in D. All right, let me get one more set of samples to do this with. Start with an E. I want to leave one of those in, and I want to go with something different for the other samples. So I have in my regular non-Dariacore pack sample library some... I could do granular. That would be sick. That would be sick. Let's try it. That's in E. Uh-oh. It's stretching it. All right, unstretch it. There we go. Let me turn this volume back up. Change this. I'm stuck in that folder for some reason. Oh, here's the issue. Something is destroying my signal here. See, this is getting really samey in here. Okay, that should work a little better. I'd like to flatten this band out here again. Boink, 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 boink. And you can do tons of stuff. All of these do different things. Saturation curve would probably be cool. So let's try something with it. So first things first, I'm going to just solo out my vocodecs and... Put an OTT right above that. Turn the time all the way up and the depth kind of down. Let's go in here and see what we can get going. Bam. That sounds like it's a little more in tune. Change this to be distortion. That's just way too heavy. That's the only problem there. Move. Oh man, that's cool and plunky. Let's go with one of the standard, one of my, and then I'm gonna go in here and just change the volume envelope. Okay, so one of the things is the mid band is too quiet. That ruins it, so I'm gonna get rid of this and redo it with a different EQ here. Still a little too much tail. Now I just need to cut this to here. And I could probably add another hit in between them. Get a different piece of Foley. I'm going to do a metal hit. It is really crunchy and weird, but I like that. Make it a little higher. I'm going to get this stereo delay. And maybe ring mod. And I think I'll just go ahead and render that. It could be a lot cleaner. But, you know, you get what you get. That's pretty damn close. And maybe just pull some side off the bottom. Not always necessary, not even really usually necessary. I'd say it's better to take risks. You know what I'm going to do instead of that? I'm going to boost it. I'm going to boost right here. And there's the band that's giving me trouble. Yep. Look at that. Okay. This is an E. I'll name this E. And so yeah, with that, y'all just take risks, do weird stuff. I'll do another tutorial probably on this at some point once I've gotten a little more practice doing it, because it's a pretty new trick to me. But thank you for watching. I will see y'all in the next one.